All right, good evening, everybody. Sean and Michelle Poe here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Super excited tonight to listen to Dr. Brett Brimhall talk to us about the LifeVantage products. Michelle and I, we got introduced to this about 6.5 years ago. A friend of ours brought us to an opportunity meeting that a cardiologist was doing here in town. And I mean, it absolutely changed our life. And this information, I'm telling you, if you understand the science and you understand what's behind these products, to me, it's an absolute no-brainer you would integrate them into your health strategy. So I will turn it over to my beautiful wife, Michelle.
All right. Hello, everybody. It's such a treat to see all your names and some of your faces as we were getting on earlier. And Dr. Brett, hello, good evening. Thank you so much for taking time away from your family tonight to bless all of us with this important information. For those of you that don't know Brett, what a treat you are in for. We met, let's see, how many years ago now has it been?
Right at three.
Right at three. Oh my goodness, right at 3 years ago. And he was brought here actually to Sioux Falls to our home, and he got to meet one of the formulators of one of our products, Axio, and his brain. He left here from Sioux Falls, and he might talk about it a little bit, with his brain just on fire going, oh my gosh, I understand now why this works, and drawing out all the pathways in the brain. But Dr. Brett, you guys, is somebody that people literally move to be treated by him. And I can tell you, getting to know him over the years, I was dying to personally be treated by him. And go to his office and see him, and I can tell you it was an unbelievable experience the different times that I have seen him, and I'm blessed as an individual to have him in my life on that side as well. So I just have to thank you so much for that, Brett. So you guys, he has been married for 21 years to, I know, that's incredible, wife Holly. They have 4 children, 3 boys and a girl, ages from 18 to 10. He's a father, husband, like I said, a friend, brother, and he just genuinely just loves people and helping people. He is taught literally all over the world. All over the world, done the 6 steps of wellness, and has been training healthcare providers and the public since 1995. He's an author, he's a formulator, he's a chiropractor, he's a speaker, and a scout master. He is currently on the LifeVantage Medical Advisory Board, and he is definitely looking forward to impacting millions of people with the science and opportunity that we have on our hands. And his heart, you will see it tonight, you guys, but his heart is to get out there and share this information to as many people as he can, because he knows the power of what we've got our hands on. And so thank you again for taking the time, Brett, to be here with us. We are honored, blessed, and look forward to hearing all the information that you have to share.
Hey, thank you guys. Yeah, I remember being there, and I'm like, why am I going to Sioux Falls in the middle of like the end of October, because it's cold there?
Oh, yes.
But guys, I was introduced to this through Carrie Williams, who many of you guys know. I was taking care of her son who was diagnosed with autism. Now, the thing we're going to talk about tonight, we're not talking about treating or curing anything. But we're going to talk about things that will absolutely impact your life, whether you want them to or not. And it really is because of what I saw in this little boy after I worked with him for a year, and then see him have a 180-degree turnaround in a matter of 11 days after he started one of the products called Axio. And I remember flying back on the airplane after I met the scientists and I met the people. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is stuff that we needed. And they said some key phrases to me. One of them being that the brain is, we're tired because we're mentally tired. So guys, I'm going to kind of screen share with you, and I'm going to go through this fairly quick but specific, because I don't want you to be scientists. I want you to just know what you have your hands on and how you be able to impact your family, and also be able to share these products if it's something you want to do, or if you're taking them to understand more of what they're doing for you. So I'm going to screen share with you. If I go fast, that's just kind of how I roll, but that's why it's being recorded. So let me start this here and we'll go. So I remember when I first heard the word biohacking. It sounded like a weird word, but what it is, guys, is that this age we're in, where we're tracking everything. You know, we're tracking our sleep, we're tracking our diet, we're tracking everything in order to look at how we get the most out of ourselves. So this term biohacking is where we're actually able to hack into our biology to optimize its potential. right? So let me again make it a little bit easier. We are being hijacked by oxidative stress, or we can biohack our biology. So right now, currently, what's happening in your body at this time is either your genes are manifesting health, or your genes are manifesting disease or dis-ease, where your body's not in a state of ease and not healing. So what we want to do with everything is to put our bodies in a place of healing mentally and physically, and we have the ability to do that if we understand the process. So I just want to kind of go through a little comparison real quick on what we're up against.
Hey, Brett, just real quick, are you wanting to show slides right now?
Is it not showing?
It's not. Let me make you the host if you can't screen.
Did I not hit screen share? Silly me. I was going good. Here, let me try screen share. I was rolling. Okay.
There we go. Perfect. Yep.
Perfect. All right. There you go. I get ahead of myself. That's what happens. So biohacking, guys, there's the slide. So I don't normally like to prepare. I like to kind of go on the fly, but I just want to give you some key phrases and pictures. This is biohacking. Here's a picture that my wife sent me this the other day. Hey, did you know that this without this? Said no. So someone had created this slide talking about hijacking our genes or biohacking our genes. And truly, that's what happens, guys. We all have a genetic potential, and they say to live past 120 years, but we don't, because of the damage that's being done to our cells, and they can't repair it. Because we know our bodies constantly repair, and actually every cell in your body is repaired within 7 years, but they're going to repair based upon what they can. So the body will always fix what it has to first, and then what it wants to second. And so if you're currently having symptoms, it's because your body is worried about fixing something else that's bigger. Right, so we want to find ways to turn those systems on, because really the body doesn't need any help; it just needs no interference. So here's kind of a little slide to kind of picture that. So right now, we want to optimize our genetic potential. So think about it with your kids in school, or yourself, or your job. Is you want to be the best version of yourself. So everything you do affects the outcome. All right, or we're being hijacked. And hijacked is something basically a normal system being taken over by another system. That can happen physically, emotionally, biochemically, through toxins, allergies, all this electromagnetic influence, it all hijacks our gene potential. And what happens when that occurs, you start manifesting what we call first dysfunction, and then disease or dis-ease, lack of ease, and then eventually into something they can name or blame. So this is the kind of the picture I found. I kind of liked it, because everything that we do either pushing us towards a state of like optimal health and wellness, or away from it towards like dysfunction, right? And none of us like that. It's really about communication. So everything you put in your body affects the outcome, and whatever you put in your mind for that matter. So this term or science is a new scientific term called Nutrigenomics. And what this is an understanding of how in which the environment, and specifically food, a combination of foods and herbs, actually turn on key switches in our body to either manifest health, or to allow your body to express dysfunction, and what eventually they turn into disease. And this is being looked at in every branch of medicine you can consider, from cancer treatments to just athletic performance to even brain health. So what, just to give you a good idea how big it is, I think about nutrigenomics as switches that your body has and are in your house. You have circuit breakers. All these circuit breakers send energy to different parts of your house. If they're turned off, it doesn't work. One of the key switches is called NRF2. It's a switch that controls the body's regulation of the repair process. So from detoxification to protecting the cells to reducing inflammation, and basically controlling this process of what they call antioxidants versus free radicals. So Washington State, gathering that information, looking at nutrigenomics and specifically this pathway, they said we may be in the new literature of the health effects of NRF2, which may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and the most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. So just grasp that around your head a second. You think about all the cool advances we have seen in our world when it relates to medical breakthroughs, and they're saying if we can understand how to switch this NRF2 switch on, we have the ability to take care and both therapeutically do things and preventively do things. I'm into prevention, but I see a lot of people that are into therapy. They need something to change their world. And this has been looked at from anything from just chronic ages like arthritises to diseases to cancers, and there's tons of studies out there. So we're going to talk about some key switches. So there's NRF1, which makes sense because if there's NRF2, NRF1 controls your body's ability to make new mitochondria, which is your energy producers. NRF2 is the one that deals with cellular repair. Then we're talking about the digestive system, prebiotics and probiotics that deal specifically with digestion, assimilation, and protection of that environment. So think about how much what you take in your body. If you can't break it down, it actually will give your body signals to manifest problems, or it repairs it, or you have the things to fix it. And then there's essential fatty acids. So I'm going to kind of show you how these all work together. And what I love about LifeVantage is they actually put it into a system. So we have key, simple things that we can do to maximize the protection, the repair, the energy, and the assimilation, and the control of the cell. So it's all about communications. So here's a little slide I made, just kind of like that. So if you think about your genes as the blueprint for health and wellness, they're the process that goes inside of us all the time, where your genes are being damaged and repaired. Your body's got to make energy all the time to fix that process. Everything that you get to fix your gene has to go through your intestinal tract in order to be utilized. And if your cells don't have this good membrane made of good fatty acids, they can't get nutrients in the cell, and they can't communicate with the inside to the outside of the cell. Big deal. So I'm going to kind of break those up and go through them real kind of specifically so you see how it works. So here's the concept that's super key here. It's supplementation versus activation. So for the last 20 years, guys, I've been involved, well, really since I was born. I remember my dad years ago when he was first into supplementation. He did chiropractic because he was helped by a chiropractor asking a dentist. His chiropractic got him where he could walk again. And he went to chiropractic school thinking, hey, I'm just going to change the world, get people out of wheelchairs, which he did. But he found the harder the people he helped, the harder they got. So in the early 70s, he started studying supplements and nutrition, and that's what he would use. And he was using these supplements, and there wasn't a lot of studies out there, but there's some, but it was all about specific ingredients, vitamin A, vitamin D, and this and that. So I want you to look at what the supplement industry is, and you think about, if you go into any health food store and you look at the shelves of supplements, and you have vitamin D, for instance, or vitamin C, there's probably 20 to 30 to even more bottles of the same thing supposedly. So a lot of that is you're guessing what you're getting. It's not specific research on that product, maybe on the ingredients, not that product, and then you don't even know if that supplement's doing that. There's a very poor quality control in the industry, and control. And the end result, we don't even know how it affects gene expression. We can read about a vitamin D, but how do we know we're taking the vitamin D, right, that's having the effect that we're looking for? Then we talk about activation. Activation is this new science looking at nutrigenomics, understanding there are genes, there's ways to actually influence their expression. There's multiple studies. We're looking at, it's a specific response of cellular health, and it's all about synergy, how those things work together. So if you don't want to guess about what you're getting, I would highly recommend you use products that have been studied, and you're not looking at supplementing, you're looking at activating specific pathways, and you're not guessing if they do it, because the studies have already been done about if you activate this gene, we know the response. So NRF2 Protandim specifically, it's claimed to fame that it reduces oxidative stress in 30 days. So think of it this way: if you could heal, 40% faster in 30 days, would you want to? Right? So think about, if you could create 40% more income, right, would you want to? And what would you do with it? If you had 40% more income, what would you do first? What bills would you pay off? Then what vacations would you take? What repairs around the house would you do? So that's the key. So it basically activates this NRF2, which makes your body make mass quantities of these enzymes for repair in every cell inside the body. And that's a key thing. The repair has to happen inside the cell. So every supplement that you take, it has to somehow get from outside the cell through the intestinal tract, that most people's are damaged, into the inside of the cell to do their job. That's kind of complicated, but with LifeVantage and the studies that have been done, they understand that when you take these combinations, this synergistic blend of 5 herbs, which are these herbs here, you get an activation effect on the NRF2 gene switch that causes mass quantity of changes inside the cell, which basically reduces the oxidative stress burden on the cell, 40% in 30 days, 70% in 3 months. And guys, these products are designed, they're all natural, okay? They're gluten-free and they're dairy-free, and they're designed to do that to reduce the allergy effect it has on them. And it's very specific herbs, but yes, you could go to the store and buy all these herbs, but are they gonna do the same thing synergistically? Absolutely not. And you can guess about it. I had a company ask me to do that when I was teaching for them. I said, there's no way, because I don't want to even assume that it might work when I know what I saw happen. So why would I guess if the key is going to work for the Corvette instead of having the key that works for the Corvette? Like, I want to make sure that what I'm doing is doing what I expect it to do. And we don't have to guess. And if NRF2 is the biggest preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine, why would I guess as opposed to no? So that's a key switch, okay? Then there's these little bad boys called mitochondria. I found this picture, I thought it was kind of funny, right? So the mighty mitochondria, like, guys, if your cells can't make energy, like, so if you, as we age, we lose mitochondria. If your body can't make these energy, then your cells start breaking down. If a cell can't make energy and break down, it does two things. It either dies or it mutates. Neither one of those are good. Okay, that other slide I found kind of funny because all these cells in our body, these little guys that work inside them, they're supposed to work together. And the key is they got to have mitochondria to do that. So NRF1, same concept, Nutrigenomics, looking at making mitochondria. So if you want to make some more cellular energy, you can take like 20 different nutrients that are supposed to give the mitochondria what it needs to function. But what if we could turn the switch on for your body to make mitochondria and the ones you have work more efficiently? So think about it this way. You may have all ingredients to make a really cool dinner, but if you set it on the table, it doesn't happen, right? It's got to be somehow put together in the right way, cooked in the right way to be able to eat it the way you want it. So with this, I'm going to move that out of my way here a second. Improve the cellular energy production, all right? Increases what's called ATP, gets the mitochondria working. And guys, we now know if mitochondria don't work, so I just think about this way. If you don't have enough energy, just yourself, how much work can you get done? Like, we typically start doing less and less because we're so tired. So think about that as yourself. If the mitochondria aren't working, your cells are going to slow down. And if it slows down, it's going to not perform. If it doesn't perform, well, you can't heal everything you want. And that's where number one reason people go to a physician, they're tired, right? Tired or pain, right? You have the ability to not just say, hey, this is what my body needs. I have the ability to actually activate that particular pathway your body makes massive energy. Okay, then there's this gut-brain connection. I like this little slide here because it talks about this relationship between the gut and the brain. We now know that there's this directional thing that happens between the brain communicating the gut and the gut communicating the brain. There's this term in here called leaky gut. Well, they also tell that leaky brain where the brain's not performing. So a lot of people have probably noticed you eat food. If you eat food, some of you feel kind of foggy brain. So what's very unique about the LifeVantage is they made a product called ProBio. Everybody knows they need probiotics. You've heard about that. Why this one and why is it different? Guys, I've used probiotics forever, like since I began practicing before that myself. Never before have I seen a probiotic work like this one, right? It's not about the quantity of probiotics so much as does it get where it needs to do. So with this probiotic, it's in a time-release capsule called BioTrack, right? That allows the good bacteria to get past the stomach acids and to get everywhere it needs to be. Guys, I've seen people that have struggled with digestive health for years. When they start taking this probiotic, I've seen them have changes within a matter of a few days. Why does it work like that? Two reasons. One, it's getting the bacteria where they need to get, so it goes through the whole intestinal tract. So it actually helps the whole intestinal tract heal. Two, it has something called well-immune in it, which are these little things that help the immune system recognize what should be there and what should not be there. Which affects people's allergies, it affects their ability to lose weight. We know that the most common food allergies are things like dairy, peanuts, sugars, soy. Why is that? What do most Americans eat? If you look at the most common allergies, it's what we eat the most of. That's because the digestive tract is damaged, the immune system is tagging it as foreign, and that's where all the autoimmune conditions come from. So if you think about communication between gut and brain, if your gut and brain aren't healthy, you're going to have things perpetuate, and you have a product that can actually affect that whole system with just taking a few a day. Phenomenal. Okay, then the omega. Now there are a few questions that go a little more depth into this because this was just launched last week. And I remember when the company was talking about other products that they're bringing on, I was thinking, man, it'd be nice if they brought omega on. Because when you think of what, I've been a part of helping teach over 400 different vitamins and minerals that have been created. And with what we have our hands on, we have the ability to affect things that I used to try to affect with 4 things that used to take me like 15 to 20, right? Because we're not just giving the body what it needs, we're actually turning the switches on. So the omegas, I want you to think of it in this way. The omegas are needed in every cell in your body, especially your brain. All right. If you, and omegas, they know it affects the immune system, affects the heart, cardiovascular system, affects your brain, it affects your skin, right? So what they made with these omegas is this very specific type of omega, and they actually combine vitamin D in it, which I was fascinating because of all when I do lab work, I think I've only seen maybe a handful of normal vitamin Ds, and every single one of them are taking it. Also, with fatty acids, I test ratios. Guys, I have only seen probably 4 out of like 400 omega tests normal or optimal, and every single one of them was taking fish oil. So if you're not taking it, that means your body's not having what it needs. Now, let me kind of talk this a little bit. So why the omega plus? Okay, omega plus has omega 3s. Okay. EPAs and DHEAs, which are needed, vitamin D, and also what's called omega-7. So why, and with this, they can trace the very fish oil bottle that you take back to actual boat where it was caught. So it's a very sustainable source, and we know exactly where it came from, which is huge in this industry because of the toxicities that happen. Also, sometimes they're not making sure it's sustainable. So one of the questions I've been having is the ratios of EPA and DHEA. I want to kind of hopefully help with this. So right now, guys, the current diet of omegas in people, omega-6 is extremely high. Right now, if you look at a 2,000 calorie diet, EPAs, people are getting about 23 milligrams, DHEA, 63 milligrams. Okay, that's super, super, super low. So if you look at the EPA, DHEA that's in omega plus, you have 126 EPA, 316 DHEA. All that means is it's 5 times more than what the current diet is. And why the ratio of DHEA to EPA? LifeVantage is working specifically. If you look at what they're having, they're focusing a lot on brain health. DHEA needs to be much higher in relationship to in the brain than in other things. And so what they're doing, because of the ratio of DHEA EPA, is to target the retina in the brain. Super, super important that takes place. Here's kind of a visual description of the membrane. Every cell has this little membrane. Think of it as a moat. So they have a moat around castles to keep things in, they want to keep in, to keep things out, they want to keep out. If you don't have the right ratio, you see down here in the corner, it says excessive omega-6 and insufficient omega-3, okay, creates a bad membrane. What that means is things get in that they're not supposed to, and things get out that aren't supposed to. What damages that, guys? Omega-3s and antioxidants help repair those. So you think about what we have our hands on, we're talking about NRF2, okay? And right here, there's another reason why I think it's huge. Studies show that diet rich in omega-3s can positively affect gene expression. So what we're talking about is not just a fatty acid. It's a fatty acid that's going to affect the communication of the cell, right? Because here's a little picture: unhealthy cell, okay, versus a healthy cell. The membrane has to let things in and out like they're supposed to. If they don't, then you're not going to get it where it needs to be. And just like in your house, like if you make money doesn't get in your bank account, you can't do what it needs to do. So I want to talk just a second about this vitality stat concept, guys. LifeVantage, and literally I think about these clients I've treated for years, they would sometimes leave my office with 10 to 12 bottles of supplements because I was finding all these different weaknesses with lab work and other testing we did, and we had to just try to piece together the things we knew kind of work synergistically. If you look at food sources of vitamins, you'll always see a synergistic blend of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants in a food. When we take supplements, okay, most people are looking at vitamin A or vitamin E. Well, those aren't typically found in nature that way. So when LifeVantage came up with this, looking at what they call biohacking and nutrigenomics, they're looking at how do we synergistically cause the gene to express better health. So if you were looking at a way to optimize or biohack your biology against what you are dealing with right now, imagine if you could reduce the cellular stress, the repair, that help speed up the repair by 40%. That's NRF2. What if you could turn on the mitochondria so the body can work better and make more mitochondria? What might happen? Okay, what if you could help improve that ratio of the good oils to the bad oils in the membrane, where now the membrane lets things in that are supposed to and let things out that aren't supposed to? And then you could heal the gut immune response. What could you do? Well, that's what they've done with the Vitality Stack. When you combine those 4 things, it's actually free shipping. Now the cost on that, guys, is like $149. If I look at everything that's in these and I was going to tell somebody to buy what I used to have, it'd be well over like $250 for this, for something that we wouldn't even know if it would work the same way. All right. Huge, huge, huge. I want to hit a couple other products, because if you take this Nutrigenomics, what got me into this company of LifeVantage was this product called Axial. And it was because I was treating this little boy that was doing everything at 35 hours of therapy a week, right? And still making painfully slow progress. How many of you feel like your brain is this, out of order? What causes that? Physical things, food things, emotional things, okay, where the brain doesn't work. Axial is truly that way. It activates your brain, has NRF2 protection for the brain, so it helps you boost energy without fatigue, without the crash, without the jitters. You don't have that brain fog. All right. Here's just a picture of my nephew's handwriting. The one you'll see on that kind of left-hand side of your screen, that's his handwriting. And then a week after he started the NRF2 and the Axial, that's his handwriting on the right. I want you to just think that's awesome, but I want you to imagine if this is your brain, right, on the left, how do you feel about yourself as far as what you can get done, your performance in whatever you're doing, versus what would it feel like on the right? What decision would you make? What job would you choose? What relationships would you have differently because of how you felt about who you were? So just so you know, Nutrigenomics is big everywhere, and they're looking at it when it comes to canines, okay? They're looking at it when it comes to skin health. So this thing here is all about Nutrigenomics in relationship to skin health. So LifeVantage, guys, they have other products. I'm not going to go into depth, but to specifically target those other areas like Nutrigenomics for pets, for skincare, all right, for weight loss. And I put through a couple pictures just so you can see of what might happen. Here's a guy that put half on one side of his face, not half on the other. And he did this for 3 months because he wanted to prove to himself that it would make a difference. And you look at the difference in wrinkles. This is a burn. Keloids here don't heal normally well, and they normally change the pigment like this forever. Look at the healing. Okay, after 3 months of using the skincare, True Science, and the NRF2, and this is psoriasis. Right, this is a lady that had it since she was a teenager, 6 months, doing the stuff externally and internally. All right, here's the weight management system. What I love about this picture is obviously at the fast change, but I'd like you to see where he lost the weight. Guys, even the weight loss products, weight management products that they're using is tied to this whole idea of let's use studied things to activate the gene's ability to express health differently. And look at the changes, especially where he was holding his weight. So I want to drive the point home here. This I kind of shared when we were at Elite, and this is a personal story. This is actually my family history. So Lena is my grandmother, Vern's my grandfather, all right? He was born in 1899. He died at 93, she died at 97. They have 10 kids, all right? They had 2 that died in infancy, okay? And then every single child that has died up to this point, there's only 3 left living. The oldest one was 82. My mom, guys, passed away at 60. So I want you to ask yourself, like, how does that happen? Like, how does somebody with genetic potential to live in their late 90s, right, pass away in their 60s? And really the only bad habit she had was my dad, right? She ate really good. She took care of us. She has 7 kids. Like, she was very active, exercised, tried to eat clean. Guys, why did her body start manifesting and not being able to protect the cells? Okay, because her genetics were hijacked because of the environmental exposure it had. So your system right now currently is being hijacked. You have the option. You can supplement or you can biohack and activate. What do you choose to do? For me and for my kids, I choose to live life activated, all right? Because I want people to know, like, you don't want to guess about what your supplements are doing to you. I'm going to use activated things to change my gene expression, because whether we want to or not, you can't get rid of all the crud that's in your environment. You can't get rid of all the crud that's in your environment when it comes to emotionally stuff, but you can protect your body with the right things if you know what they are. So you can go into GNC if you want, and if you look at those products on that left side, guys, that's how it is. You go into Sprouts or anywhere else, you have to guess. You have to guess about what you have and say, hey, well, I hope this works, right? And I guarantee you it doesn't work very well, because when I look at labs, guess what? Even people taking stuff, most of the time they're taking stuff that doesn't work, because you can see it in their lab work, and you can also see it in their health, right? So what we have with LifeVantage is activation of specific nutrigenomic type products to biohack our biology, optimize our potential. And this is a picture showing the True Science, the NRF1, NRF2, Omegas, and ProBio. So if you want your cells to perform at their best, this is what you can do. It's all a choice. Because whether you want to or not, they're being deactivated or hijacked by the environment they're on. And just know, what I love is the company's done the hard work for us. And as we've formulated in the past, as I've done that with my dad, the process is fairly painful. Because you're really taking different studies and different things, trying to, okay, how do I push this with this and this with this, and hopefully get the effect I'm looking for, right? And we came up with some phenomenal formulas. But I don't have any studies at all on any of those formulas because it's so expensive. So to what LifeVantage had, we aren't guessing if they're working because they've already tested and shown that they're activating these pathways the way that they want them to. So just so you know, what you're learning about, guys, is brand new science. This is a picture I took talking about being a trailblazer. Most people are going to have no idea what biohacking is, right? But again, 10 years ago, none of us knew what an iPhone was either. So what you having a conversation with yourself or with your family, you're looking at this, just know that what you're learning about today might sound better, too good to be true. I remember being that guy. When someone first showed me Protanum years ago, and I just like, well, it looks like 5 herbs, doesn't seem like any special. But my eyes were opened when the timing was right, and I saw what I saw in this little boy that was working crazy hard. His mom was doing everything she possibly could to help him, and all of a sudden the switches turned on. So there are people right now in your life and us that could have their switches turned on if they were just taking the right things. So just know that yes, some people have no idea what this is. It doesn't mean that it's too good to be true. It just means that we're early to the party. And the more I study this, the more I look at this, the more excited I get, because we have the potential to actually influence our biology now and not guess about it. And that's what's got me so excited. And that's why I want people to have the opportunity to have these things in their lives, because they're gonna affect them in a positive way. So Sean and Michelle, thank you for having me on here. It's been a party. LifeVantage has been just a huge blessing in my life and my family's life. And it's been a huge blessing in the lives of clients that I've treated for 15 plus years. So I'm excited for what the company had. And guys, just that simple 4 of the Vitality Pack, that stack, so simple, so inexpensive for what it is. It's almost embarrassing. And the only way they work, though, is about the only way exercise works. You have to do it. If they don't get in your body, it doesn't do you any good. So thanks again for your time, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Brett. Always incredible information. And I just know the first time I went to that meeting and I heard that, Protanum was the only natural branded product to ever be published in the American Heart Association Journal of Circulation, through the premier, which is the premier cardiology journal of the world. My heart just stopped because, you're talking about your family's genes and your mom passing away. Well, my dad died of a heart attack at the age of 42. And when I looked at the research and I tried to disprove it, I could not believe what I was seeing, because it did sound too good to be true when I first heard about it. Like, how in the world does everybody not know about this? But it is because we are the pioneers. We are getting this information out there. Nerve2 activation, as you showed through the Washington State University study, could be the biggest breakthrough. And we have such a massive responsibility to get this information out. And so all of you hopping on here tonight, what a gift for us to be able to share this information with you and you to be able to share it with others. Because like we said, it's just a responsibility. And what I think is so cool is over the years, we've been talking about this big breakthrough that no nutraceutical company or pharmaceutical company in the world can even talk about with Protanum. Then they come out with this mitochondrial, NRF1 activating product. And then the probiotic, and now also Axio and the fish oil Omega Plus. And I remember being in the meetings and people would say, well, what else should we take? What else should we take? And it was always, we said, a great probiotic, vitamin D, and fish oil. We always said those things. And to know that we have seriously got, and it's no hype, in my eyes, the best of the best, is such a cool thing to know that we've got that package now of the Vitality Pack to bless people with. So thank you for all of that. Were you going to say something, Brett?
Yeah, I was just thinking, I meant to say this earlier, but people always ask me, well, what do I take? Right? They say it all the time. And I with my kids, and here's the reality, guys. I take NRF1, NRF2, ProBio, and Axio, and the fish oil every day. Yes. Omega. All right. And do I take a multi? I do take a multi personally, guys. But here's the reality. If your gut, people always say, well, I want to do everything with food. Like, I don't want to take supplements, right? So here's the reality though. Unless you've got a really good variable diet and your digestive tract works phenomenally well, you aren't getting what you want to get from your foods. So it's so imperative that we take the right activating things and get our guts healthy. Otherwise, even when you eat 100% clean diet, which I've worked with vegans and vegetarians and people that eat clean, but they're still struggling, right? Because when you can activate those gene potential and you can heal the digestive tract, magic happens. So now you're just thinking about that.
Amen. It looks like we've got a cardiologist that video just turned on there. I think he's agreeing with you.
Uh-oh.
No, that's wonderful. Sean, anything else?
No, just thank you guys all for tuning in. And, you know, as I started this with 6.5 years ago, this information completely changed our life. And when you understand the science that's backing these technologies, it's an absolute no-brainer. You're going to integrate this stuff into your health strategy. So get back with the person that invited you to hear this information. If it's all new to you, they'll tell you how to get started, how to get it into your body. Definitely want to thank Dr. Brett Brimhall. Your knowledge and expertise is absolutely amazing. We appreciate what you're doing for the company and just how you're educating people throughout the world. So thank you, and we will get this out to everybody as soon as possible.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.